marriage is supposed to have a mission. Is that right?
Yes. Yes, because what are we doing?
Right. Marriage is a mission. Marriage is the mission. The mission is marriage first.
Okay.
And then once the mission becomes marriage, then marriage has a mission.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, what are we doing? We're being married. So that is the priority. That is the focus. That is why two become one. That's why we had this ceremony, spent all this money, invited all these people, changed last names, went downtown, changed our, birth certificate, driver's license. We did all this. We didn't do all this just so we could have a good party. We did all this because that's the mission. And the same intent, the same efforts that it took to do that. Collaboration, negotiation, budget planning. People underestimate. If you get married, the wedding is a test ground for how you work together. It's the first budget you have to navigate. It's the first social experiment of your two sides of the world. It's the first opportunity for agreement and disagreement and picking a color scheme and who's going to do what and what you're going to eat and meal prepping. People be missing. This ain't just throwing a party. This is an opportunity to lay down a foundation or a blueprint of your marriage. And so when the wedding is over, the marriage is really what you're working on. So being married is the mission. And then once you get on the mission of marriage, then you put your marriage on the mission. Now that we together,
right?
What are we gonna do?
Right.
What has God called us to do? Right. What's the assignment? What's the focus? How we gonna raise our kids? How we gonna impact society? How we gonna make the world better? Whatever it is, as audacious as it can be, or as simple as it can be, the assignment is the attraction, and people miss that. And that's why they get married and then sit up there and look at each other and be like, okay, that was fun, now what? No, what are we doing? What's the point generationally? Yeah. Right? Shifting, legacy. Yeah. What's the point? Why do we need to be together? Why? What couldn't happen unless we came together? Yeah.
Exactly.
We got time for just nothing.
Right. And the mission is the calling. It's the thing that, to me, that grounds you, and that when you get lost or you get in your feelings, is the mission that you go back to. And so it's like, it really discourages me when people don't take it that seriously, that they can just kind of throw it away, walking down the aisle. If this doesn't work, then I'm going to get a divorce.
They can throw it away because they haven't invested in the mission.
Invested in anything, But it's but on the other side of it, when marriage is a mission, you have a vision. It may not always be clear, but we have a vision. And then you look up and you have children, you have businesses, you have family and friends that are staying married, that want to be married because of your marriage. You got people that are watching you that you don't know that are watching you. It just becomes this thing that at the beginning you didn't think that it could be that big. You didn't think that it could make that much of a difference.
And here's the thing. You don't even have to figure it out. Right. Because God gives it to you. This is 128.
Come
simple.
on.
Be fruitful.
And multiply and subdue the earth.
Have dominion. That's what he wants you to do. That's the mission. That's the mission of the first one. Oh, this work is too much for Adam to do. I got to send him a helpmate. What they going to do? They're going to be fruitful. They're going to be multiplied. They're going to subdue. They're going to have dominion. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Now, in what sphere, in what area, in what way, you decide that. Multiply is more than just having babies. What else are you going to multiply? What you're going to turn into more than what you had when you came together. So if you come together and it subtracts and don't multiply, you're not on mission. You come together and you get together and you put your money together, and the money you holding yours and they holding theirs, it's subtracting. Because money works when it gets together, so you missing the opportunity for multiplication. You missing the opportunity for subduing. You're missing the subduing, taking over, for having dominion and dominance. And so that's the mission. You don't even have to figure it out. You just have to figure out how you're going to do what God already told you to do. And if you don't want to do that to get married, then don't get married, because that is putting your marriage on a mission.
A couple with purpose can overcome any problems. So you've seen this work in your marriage?
Definitely.
Most definitely. That was only the reason why I married him, is because he was on purpose. Okay. And I could see on a piece of paper of him not knowing that I was watching, of what he wanted in life and his goals and things of that nature, and me looking at his goals and the things that he wanted in regards to a family and ministry were the things that I wanted for myself. So I figured in my mind, being with him, I'm not going to really have to change that much. I don't have to alter my personality to be with him or to dummy myself down. I can be who I am, and it's going to be welcome and it's going to strengthen. So yeah, and him knowing his purpose. And I mean, and I had been in relationships before, and they were men that I could see what they were supposed to be doing, but they could not see what they were supposed to be doing. So now I'm hoping against hope that you're going to get the revelation of who you are, and it was just wasted years.
Pastor Glenn, so what is exactly purpose? Somebody's like trying to figure
Why?
out. Like,
Why you're together? Why you're born? Purpose is why.
Why, right.
It's the why behind the what.
Okay.
So same in a relationship. Why people underestimate in dating? Why should we be together? Why are we getting married? Like, why do you want to be married to me? You know, why? And if we can answer the question why and put purpose to precede, one of the things in our marriage coaching that we ask people to do is create a vision for their marriage, create a why, create a mission for your marriage. Why do you want to be together? Oh, we love each other. That's not enough. You need more than love. Equally yoked does not just mean that you are both saved. You know what I'm saying? Hallelujah. Right. Unequally yoked means you can both be saved and still not have the same direction, the same vision, and live on the same mission. And so purpose is why. And when you put purpose first, even when you have a problem, you go back to why you're together. Even when you want to quit, you go back to why you're together. Even when you want to give up, you go back to why. So purpose can overcome problems. Because problems come, but if purpose is deep enough, if your why is deep enough, you create a strategy to get around that and get through it, because that's temporary. But why we together is that's why we're together. That's what we're doing.